So today, for a really special show, I wanted to reach out to some fans who had friends or family members that are veterans. And the idea was, let's get a fan who can give us the phone number of a veteran, and let's just call the veteran and say thank you, talk for a couple minutes, and maybe bring a little joy to a veteran, maybe have a great conversation or two. But certainly the whole purpose of this is to recognize our veterans and hopefully make a couple feel good today.
Hello?
Chad, Jon Taffer here.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, it's me, buddy.
Oh, my goodness. What the heck is going on?
Well, put the chainsaw down. I hope you're wearing safety goggles. Are you wearing safety goggles?
Of course not.
Oh. Well,
I'm on a farm.
put the saw down and talk to me for a minute or two. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, I was talking to Carrie, who freaking adores you, buddy. And she told me about your 15 years and 4 tours in the Army, buddy, and Desert Storm.
Yeah.
And
Desert Storm, Afghanistan.
Wow.
Yep.
So when did you get home? When did your last tour end?
My last tour ended in 2012.
2012. So you've been home now for about 8 years or so. How was
8 years now? Yeah.
How was your transition to civilian life?
Not as easy as possible, but you just make do as you can go, through life. Basically, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into the bar industry.
I heard you and your wife were bartending, and then the pandemic took you guys down, huh?
It took us out like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
well, the good news is this is going to end. This pandemic is going to end, buddy. So I want to ask you a story. Would you tell me the story of the first time you went to battle? Do you mind telling me that story?
First time?
First time.
Sure. That first time was Desert Storm, Desert Shield. Oh, geez. I enlisted in 89. I left to go over in 90. I was over there for 2 years.
Wow.
I mean, it's just the typical, I was a 80 Mike 10. I was transportation. I drove stuff from the rear to the front lines.
Yeah. Were you scared? Were you scared that first time?
I was scared, definitely shitless, because I thought I was going to be a college kid, and that all changed quick.
It sure did.
So because I actually was going to be a reservist, and I came home to go back to school, and I was actually in school when I got the phone call that my unit got called up.
Wow. So when you think about those first battles and the guys that you were with, did you tell each other you were scared, or did you hide it from each other?
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, it all depends on who you were with. Some people you could say it to, but like people that you became close to through your unit and through the time with being with those guys, you can open up to anybody. If you're scared, you're scared. I mean, it's going to happen.
Right. All right, Cole. Ray is a fan who requested that we call his good friend Brian Towie. And apparently Brian was involved in passing a VA Accountability Reform Act that he authored himself. So this is a pretty cool guy. So we're going to call Ray, who's Brian's friend. I'm going to ask Ray to just be quiet in the background, and then we'll give a surprise call to Brian.
This is Ray.
Ray, Jon Taffer here.
How are you doing?
I want to give Brian a call, buddy. So here's the plan. You ready to mess around with me a little bit?
I am.
So you told me about your friend Brian, Ray, and obviously I'm excited to be able to talk to him. And he was involved in the VA Accountability Reform Act?
He wrote the bill. He almost died. He almost committed suicide because he was so in bad shape. And his wife walked in, told him, "You need to pull yourself up. We have 4 kids we got to raise. I can't do this by myself." And he told himself at that moment that he would get 1% better every day.
Wow.
And so this VA, there was a loophole, and he just got destroyed financially. And he swore to God that he would never allow another veteran to have to go through what him and his family went through. So he put a team together. He learned how to write a bill, and he's been working on this for 4 years. And yesterday, the Senate bill was introduced on the Senate floor, and it's already passed the House. So this is his bill. It's called the tally bill. Yes, sir.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So I'm sure the Senate will pass it, and I'm sure President Trump will sign it, which is pretty darn exciting. Yes. So does Brian know I'm going to be calling?
Yes, I told him to pick up when that phone number came.
Great. Well, I'm going to have Corey give him a call. I'm going to conference the three of us together, but stay in the background for a minute or two. I want to congratulate him and talk to him for a minute or so. Okay, Ray?
You got it.
Hello?
Brian.
Yes.
Jon Taffer here, my friend. How are you?
Good.
Good to talk to you. You know, I was talking to Ray, and your buddy Ray, who told me your story, Brian, and I just wanted to take a minute. You're on my podcast right now, and, you know, I heard your story, buddy, of you know, I've worked with VFW, and I've worked with a lot of military organizations, Marines, sailors, soldiers, dealing with PTSD and transforming back to civilian life and such. And I heard your story, Brian, and I was blown away by it, buddy. Completely blown away. So you put together Tally Team. And first, let's talk about your service, Brian. Where did you serve?
I was in Okinawa. I was in Camp Lejeune. I was in Pendleton. And a bunch of other, you know, smaller type countries and stuff like that. I served about 5 years active duty.
Wow. And you came back home, and like many, there was some struggles, right? Adapting back to civilian life. And I heard the story from Ray that you made a promise to yourself that you were going to get 1% better every day. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah, after I got hurt in 2016. Correct.
Wow. How did you inspire yourself from that low point to start moving up? What was it that you found in yourself, Brian, that you could share with us that inspired you?
My family, you know.
Bingo, right?
Yeah, my family, and, you know, and just trying to find a sense of purpose, you know, again, and you know, like I said, I promised myself I'd get 1% better every single day, and you know, become the man that I once was, and, you know, through, you know, strength and dedication and determination and perseverance and resilience, you know, I've, you know, done that, and you know, I've come a long way over the last 5 years.
Well, you've become a lot more than the man that you were. So you wrote the VA Accountability Reform Act. And I want Americans, not only veterans, to hear how amazing this is. So you learned how to write a bill, what it looks like, how to format it, and sat down and started to write the VA Accountability Reform Act. Is that true?
Yeah, so I got hurt really bad in 2016 due to VA medical malpractice and gross negligence. And damn near cost me my life. You know, I ended up losing almost everything, my life savings, you know, everything like that, due to no fault of my own. I had a bone-eating staph infection that was eating my spine and my internal organs for about 4 months before they found out what happened. Just got thrown a lot of pills and a lot of injections, pain injections, and, you know, ended up losing my livelihood. And I sat in a chair for years. And then, like I said, one day I got up, started getting 1% better every day. And pretty much the law that essentially ruined my life. I didn't end up getting any recourse from the VA due to a law that was written 74 years ago. And that's where I promised myself that I would dedicate my life toward effectively changing the very law that ruined my life.
Hello.
Cole. Jon Taffer here.
Yes. Hi there, Mr. Taffer. How are you?
Great. It's wonderful to talk to you, particularly on Veterans Day, my friend. Hope you're feeling good today.
Great to hear from you.
So, Cole, I understand you and your wife, April, are both veterans. Is that true?
Yes, that's right, and she's here with us today.
Hey, John.
Hi, April. Nice to talk to you both. A husband and wife veteran team. How awesome.
It is an awesome day. Thank you so much. We saw your message earlier. Thank you so much for honoring true patriotism on this day.
Oh, boy. Veterans Day is very important to me. Earlier in the podcast, I was talking about work I did with the military for years, and I've never had the honor of serving, but I've been a consultant to the military, working with MWR and various, which is Morale, Welfare, Recreation, in the Army, Marines, and the Navy. So I have a great history of not serving, but knowing all those very much who did. And Cole, you were a medic in the Army.
Yes, I was.
Wow. So you were actually trying to working in the field as a medic?
I was. Yep. I joined primarily to save. I wanted to get in there and make a difference, not necessarily by being part of the assault teams or part of the violence, but by healing.
Wow.
And that's always been part of our, just what we're about. We're healing however we can.
So you had medical training then before you joined?
I got all of my medical training from the Army, but it was extensive, I promise.
I bet it was. Wow. And April, what did you do?
I was a transportation officer with the 101st Airborne. I deployed to Iraq a couple of times with the 3rd Brigade Combat Team, the Rakkasans.
Wow.
It was a time of transition for the military, allowing women to serve on the front lines with the artillery and infantry units before we were allowed to wear that badge and go to that school. So it was an interesting time. I was the first female officer in my entire battalion of over 400 soldiers. But let me tell you, it grew me. It was a time, as you remember, after 9/11 is when I joined. And, that's when everyone really had a sense of patriotism and what it meant to serve your country.
Yep.
Despite who your president is, you have a representation there when you're wearing that uniform.
Absolutely.
Yeah. As the first female officer, how were you received?
Well, there was no female bathroom in the building. That was my first day. And it was great, but they were great, because no one really, it just happened. And they made a little sign for me that I could put on there when a woman was in there, kind of thing. And
that's funny.
And you know what? They were true gentlemen. When you're in war, when you're in combat, you see the best, you see the worst, but it was an amazing experience for me, even as a female and feeling kind of a loner. I had a team of brothers, a team of warriors who took care of me, looked after me. I looked after them, and it was a great time. It really was.
Boy, you think about the relationships that you create when you're in the military, the people that are beside you. And I think there's some of the deepest relationships you'll create in your entire life. Because of the circumstance that you go through together. And you're right, the best of you comes out and the worst of you comes out. So what do you both do now?
Well, we're both in a local band here in Richmond, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
We actually met through music, which is, it was on Veterans Day.
It was in 2016.
We were teamed up for a Veterans Day gig through the CAMO organization, which is the Center for American Military Musical Opportunities. It's a volunteer organization that does concerts and benefits for victims of PTSD and things like that. And we both fell right into that after our Army careers. And that's how we met. We were teamed up for a gig.
I was in that nonprofit. We were doing music therapy for veterans with trauma, substance abuse, recovery, PTSD. And that same nonprofit created Voices of Service, which took 5th place on America's Got Talent last year. And they recruited 20 service members with musical talent to be their backup chorus in episode 12. And Cole and I actually got recruited and sent to LA to perform on AGT last year. And it was just incredible to be a part of that. And the incredible kindness and gratitude for our veterans. If nothing else, we do put up with a lot, but the love we get when we get home. And let me tell you, John, it's not just about people who wear the uniform. There are families and people like yourself who work behind the scenes, who really make it happen, who make us feel like there's a reason why we do what we do.